Okay, there it is. Got it. Anyhow, Tom, what's new with you, man?
Oh, all kinds of wild stuff. We're growing by leaps
Shut
and
up,
bounds.
animal.
and-
Nobody can hear you.
I think he wants us to redo the intro.
Yeah.
Do the intro. Like to welcome you to the Ernie Moreno and Animals Show.
There you go.
And our guest today is Tom Chuna, and we're going to ask him a whole bunch of questions. He's going to have a great time. And we got Mario and Michael, and we got Sasha, and we got Ivan, and then we got Rich Rosen, who's hiding right now because he's closing another deal.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude.
So here we go.
Leave some for the rest of us.
Guys got to get to work.
So Tom, tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh, let's see here. Well, for about the last
If
8
you
years.
speak up, you're kind of hard to hear.
Oh, sorry. For about the last 8 years, I've been an internal recruiter with a holding company. We own and operate plumbing companies, HVAC companies. So I staff all of them, do a lot of internal training. Day's pretty much different every day. I also do recruiting for other companies within our franchise family. Could be electricians on the other side of the country, plumbers down in Florida. It's kind of a mixed bag. And previous to that, I was a sole proprietor of my own recruiting firm before there was an internet, from about the mid 90s to early 2000s, where I specialized.
Yeah, congratulations. Can you hear me now?
You're back.
Yeah, finally. Oh my
Everybody
God.
say no.
Yeah, well,
No.
I switched.
I
I'm
can't
not
hear
using
him.
the mic
What?
anymore.
Get a
Okay.
hearing aid.
Hey, everybody. It's the Recruiting Animal Show. Okay. And what's the
Hey,
date?
hey, Tom. I'm
March.
curious. Pre-internet, how are you getting your?
Was there a world
your
before the
resume.
internet? Let me start the
No.
show.
There was.
Okay. Hey,
It's a
I'm going
very
to cut
big
this
world.
part out. Okay. You guys have to
Okay.
listen to me now.
It's
Okay.
going so well.
Hey, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on March 2nd, 2023.
He always
Isn't
says
it?
he's going to edit something out,
It's
and he
only
never does.
2022. What's happened to me? I got a lot of people here, and I got a guest, Tom Chuna. But first, I just want to say that I am more important than Super Rich Rosen, because look what I got. Well, you can't see it.
Recruitees.
I got a T-shirt from Hire Tool.
Animal, you're on video.
Yeah, Hire Tool.
Easy.
They only
Hire
sent-
Easy. I got a T-shirt.
Animal's easy. That was
Okay.
They only sent you that because they never paid you what they owed you.
Yeah, they never paid me.
Oh, crap.
And I got a mug, and I got some kind of thing you don't have to touch your keys. And I got a pen. Talk about pre-internet. I never use pens anymore. Okay. Everything. Hey, people who are listening, I've been struggling for the last 45 minutes with my technology. It's not really
Mario.
working. Okay. And so these guys thought they were going to do the show without me today. And you know
Yeah.
what? I mean, like, if you think it's going to be better, I don't care. I'm willing to take a back seat. But
Mike's got more pens than
Hey,
you. Mike has more
Check it
pens
out.
than you.
I still have my signing pen from when I was in sales with Gartner. Look at that.
Congratulations. Okay.
Tiffany.
So
check it
Tom
out.
Chuna, raise your hand. Tom Chuna, you're the
Yes.
guest. Okay, raise your hand so people know who you are. They might think you're, this girl in the center. Okay, Tom was telling Ernie that he recruits HVAC people. Am I right about that?
Yes, and plumbers and electricians.
Yeah, I
Okay,
could have used your help on some HVAC positions a few months ago.
yeah, congratulations. That's history. Okay, and you
It is.
do it for
I
a
let go of
number
that
for a
client.
number of contractors. You've got a group of contractors that you recruit for, right?
Yeah, part of our franchise family, yes.
Okay, and you're a martial artist and that stuff too, right?
Hmm,
Okay.
Yes.
Does that
Okay.
mean like you draw Asian kind of things, or?
Well, Michael, that's almost racist. You're
That's
bringing up
totally
the Asian-
racist. Hey, come on. Martial arts are not just based out of Asia.
Yeah, it is.
No, it is not. You have martial arts in Sparta all over the world, for God's sake.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
but where did it
Philippines,
start?
Indonesia.
Okay.
No.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I got this weird. Sorry, I had to schedule. There's been, and
That's
maybe Sasha can tell us about this. There's been a slew of postings about recruiters who are doing Zoom interviews, and a little kid comes in and says, "Dad, I shit my pants."
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
I poop.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, they
I haven't
say
saw that one. I haven't saw
haven't
that
either.
one. I'm
there's
not
been
up
more
to
than
date.
one. But you've got a little kid. I
No.
thought maybe that would happen with. No, you never had that, eh?
No,
You
Okay,
the
well,
small
what-
child.
What
I've
should a
I've
recruit?
had my kids show up in my videos that I'm sending to candidates that I can't get a hold of through other means.
And you don't re-record. You leave the kids in there.
I'm much like the recruiting animal who says he's always going to edit something and never does.
Okay, yeah. Okay, but nobody's got comments on that or anything like that. Okay, right?
It happens.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did a screening call with a girl that was potty training her daughter. So,
While
That
you
was
were
fun.
on the screening
I
call.
thought
Yeah,
you were
I was
doing
on the
buddy
phone, yeah.
training.
Really? Wow. Okay. Well, I heard somebody said she was interviewing somebody, a marketing executive, and the candidate it seemed to be taking a bath with her phone.
That's an
Okay.
interview.
Okay.
well,
And
in
here's
this
a-
market, I'm just happy that they'll answer the phone and be on the damn call to begin with. I don't care
Yeah,
what
okay.
they're doing.
Here was a profound question that Tom actually took the time to answer. You know, I have to tell you something. They have this option. I told you I was fiddling around with the settings, and it says mirror.
What the hell is that, Rich?
Hey.
That's awesome.
What's going on? Am I
I
missing
said it-
something?
I sent it to you as well, so you could.
There's in the chat.
No, we don't see nothing. Like,
Oh,
put it
sorry.
to everyone.
Okay, well, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
It wasn't for
Okay.
us, apparently.
But the
Hey,
question
there
here
There's
is,
actually a guy out there who like through the pandemic, he started taking Zoom interviews, and he would always do the Zoom interviews like at the drive-through of McDonald's, and then completely deny that he was at the and he would just like stay in character.
He's hilarious.
He was
Yeah,
awesome.
I
That was a good one.
I saw that guy. Actually I had a similar experience when I was interviewing a candidate for like a top management position. She started the interview in her car, and then after like 10 or 15 minutes, she went with her phone into the restaurant and ordered a salad, and I was I was speechless. I mean, it was definitely her first and last time. So yeah, I ended up the meeting immediately.
Apparently, this pooping your pants during an interview is a thing. There's a
Yeah.
like that. I told you.
there's a even Al Roker pooped his pants at the White House. It says.
Well, that I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah,
In fact, that I didn't want to know. But wait a second.
All I've got to say is you can't poop your pants if you're not wearing any. I'm going to leave
There
it
you
there.
go.
Okay.
Well put.
Andy, are you calling from the Ukraine?
Yep, exactly.
Wow.
From hell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you where? What
Hey,
city?
man.
What city are you in?
Kiev,
Kiev?
in the capital. We're getting
Wow.
bombed on a daily basis.
Dude, you are a dedicated listener. Wow. Holy shit. Hope you guys are all right.
No,
Wow.
actually, I was just
Is
curious.
there anything you want to tell us?
Somebody, that's it.
Is there anything we should know that you want to tell us that we haven't read or heard yet? I heard this is a social media war, but this is amazing.
Yeah, it's super close to truth. So basically, nothing to add.
How come you're not in the army?
Because helping the army by
Okay, you know what? I shouldn't. I shouldn't say something like that. Yeah, that's not nice of me. Anybody else want to ask about the war? I mean, it's
Like, what's going on? Like, what's the real story over there? I mean, you watch the news, it looks horrifying.
It depends on
Yes,
what news you
the
watch.
war is happening. The war is here. There's this conflict. It's hugely, massively affected the Ukrainian citizens. I do not know how does it affect on the Russian citizens. I just see what is happening in my country. We currently have high spirits, high patriotic spirits. This is the first time within our 30 years of independence where everyone is very patriotic. Everybody wants to defend their land. And I think that we'll make history.
Really, you do, eh? I don't know how you can beat them. Russia's a big country with a huge army. It's just
It's not
Like
that
a
simple.
really
They're like a
Okay.
bumbling giant right now, though.
Yeah.
That-
So
That army is getting his ass whooped by a bunch of farmers and whatnot. So congratulations on that. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
it's the dangerous part of that is like this. he's gonna get desperate and do some really big things, which is very
Bingo.
scary.
Really? You think so? In front of
He
the
has
whole
to at this
world?
point. He's getting backed into a corner.
In front of the whole world, he doesn't give a
Yeah,
shit
but-
about the rest of
but-
the world.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Andy, so all of your family is fine?
Sorry?
All of your family, everybody's okay?
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's
Hey,
okay.
Can I ask you, like, what made you stay in the city? Like, why not get to the shelters or get out or?
Because I have some particular reasons for it within the family, so I have to stay with my family here and protect my family. I
You
didn't
got
leave.
kids. You have a little kid, right?
Wow.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for
Okay,
you.
well, all we can do is wish you well, and I'm glad you're here. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you, but I don't know if I should be happy because you're in that kind of situation.
Can I ask you a question?
Never
I mean,
mind.
wait, can I ask you, people
How
like,
you
it seems
doing,
like-
guys?
it seems like people are still working at the grocery stores and doing what they got to do. Like just.
Yeah, actually, our office is recruiting. We're still continuing to recruit, but also we are helping the people that are leaving Ukraine to integrate in the society. For example, in Poland, together with one of the biggest sites in Poland, PL, we started jointly investing our efforts into placing people that have left Ukraine and could start working and start integrating in the society fastly. So basically, we're also doing this.
Wow. Good for you, man. That's
Okay. Okay, Tommy, he's been commenting a lot lately, and this woman, she had two candidates leave this company in the first year, and the company dumped her. And Tom, I think, said, "Don't worry about it. Walk away from these people. It's them, not you." Right? Is that what you said, Tom?
That is what I said. At some
Because she
point,
was
I'll be-
feeling it was her responsibility. She was recruiting people who were really not that great candidates, and it was proved by the lack of retention. You said, no, dear. Don't look in the mirror. They should look in the mirror. Is that right?
yeah, their onboarding probably sucks, or maybe they have a toxic culture.
Anybody else want to talk about that? You got two candidates, you place them, and they leave within the year at the same company. Anybody? What does that tell you? That you're at fault or the company? Anybody want
The
to talk to
company's
that?
at fault. Simple as that.
And would you tell them that?
Why not? If you're gonna walk away, give them hell and walk.
Yeah,
Well, here's a
She's
related
working.
question.
She's working for them. It's not that
She needs-
she's gonna make them a client.
She needs to worry about what she can control. And that's it.
Yeah, you're not
Don't
really
worry about
the
anything
attention-
else. You have no control over people leaving after you've satisfied all your requirements. What's she gonna do? Give them back their money? I don't think so.
You know,
I
I think, sorry, go ahead.
Maybe
it's one
try and assume a
person-
bit more responsibility. Let's say it's not her fault, but kind of like Ernie said, try and control what you can. And maybe she should look at herself and consider the caliber of candidates that she was submitting. But you also have to take into account, maybe she submits 10 terrible candidates, and what that does is they're selecting what they believe is the least terrible of those 10 candidates, and they still have a responsibility in this because they made that selection. But if she's trying to control for her participation in this, or her
You know
being
what? There was a
factor in this-
shorter way to say that, Michael G. Cox. She might be sending them lousy candidates. Without that speech, you could have put it that
Wait.
simply.
If you're-
Okay.
Well, it
Another
takes
question.
a little bit
hang on.
more than that.
How do you, if you send lousy candidates and they hire them, how is that really the recruiter's fault?
Yeah.
How is that? How?
Let's
No one
back
ever
up.
wondered
I'm
that.
going to get a
That's
young
crazy.
person,
No, wait.
half your age,
mad.
who's going to
Wait, wait,
spank
wait.
you
So-
super rich. She's going to teach you a lesson.
Wait,
Go ahead,
let me ask you-
Sasha.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah,
Let me
so
ask you a
my question-
Wait.
Hold on.
So if you drive a car off the dealership's lot and you get in an accident, is that the dealer's fault too?
Hey, you know what? This isn't about cars, okay? This is not about cars. Tasha,
But
go ahead.
people,
It's about
That was a-
morons.
that was a
dealing with
crazy
morons,
one, I
is what it
think.
is.
He
exactly.
wasn't using his drug examples. Go ahead.
And
Hold on a
how
sec.
come?
Go ahead.
How come? I mean, how you can know when you sign a contract with a specific company and when you actually choose to be a recruiter for a specific company that they're not a lousy company, a company that will overpromise, underdeliver, company that doesn't know how to lead their internal infrastructure, who won't be aware that the people in the company are the biggest asset that they have. That could be a possibility as well. How do you know that the company that you signed a contract with is not running their business lousy?
Okay, here's the thing.
I
I
look
think
at
it's
it
your
that this guy-
personality. Ernie, what do you?
No,
I think.
this guy-
I,
these
Hold on,
people left
Animal,
for
hold
more
up.
money. That's my take. They left
What
for
is
more
it?
money and a better job. Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah,
The fact
it
that we're
may
two
not be, but
candidates tells you
if
all
there
you need
is
to know.
something that you can control in this, maybe look at that. You know, look at yourself and see if you can step it up a little bit. I'm okay with that, and also totally okay with what Rich said, which is they made a decision to hire somebody that maybe they didn't like to, you know, in the end.
They
Now-
hired for desperation. That's not my problem. My job is to introduce talent to them, not to do retention, not to hold their hand. We don't set any parameters. We don't set the client list. We don't set the culture. We don't set the comp. We don't set jack.
Get him, Rich.
No.
Get him.
You know, at the end of the day,
Here's another thing. If you
you-
have any kind of a premium account on LinkedIn, you can take a quick look at the total
Sure.
employee count and see how much that has grown or gone down in the past 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. And if you see that's down, this one is down 18% in the past 6 months. Maybe take that as some sort of a sign.
will you
things aren't
ask the
looking too good.
client? Will you go to the client and ask? Say, look, I've seen this on LinkedIn. Something's
Median
wrong with your.
tenure is 8.8, I'm sorry, 8 months. And you have to ask.
Will you go back to the
Wait,
client
wait,
and
wait.
say, is there
Wait,
something
wait,
wrong
wait.
with your company? I don't
No,
want
no,
to
no,
know.
no,
first.
no, no. You place these people, right?
Yeah.
If you place them, pick up the phone and call the people and say, why the heck did you leave?
Yes.
With that information, you go back and you tell them they left because they got this or they got that.
yeah, but
Don't blame
both
that on
sides end up lying about it. The candidate
Wait,
lies about it. The client lies about it. So at the end of the day is, you know what, you can get the information, you make your best judgment and you decide, is this company worth doing? I had a client that they hired early last year. The 2 people I hired, they hired 5 guys for me, 2 left. And they're like, hey, you got to replace them. And I'm like, all right, well, you know, if in this case, I'm like, fine, it was in the warranty period. But, you know, at the end of the day is it's not a bad company. There was various reasons why one left. And, you know, you got to make a judgment call, but it's not always black and white. And then you got to also see what's the real ramifications of it. Is there some jackass manager? Is it the bad culture? And what's the long-term, you know, monetary gain by working with these companies? You know, you can't just cut them off because you had a bad hire or even 2. You know, you got to know the whole story. from both
Well, the
sides.
fact that we're 2 candidates told me that there's a symptom. There's something wrong in that culture. And if you want a guarantee, buy a set of Craftsman tools. You
Yeah.
know, everything's buyer beware.
Well, that's why I these companies that always want these 60-day, 120-day, you know, 6-month guarantees. I don't understand why any recruiter gives them. You know, I tell a client flat out, I give you 30 days just because of courtesy, not because I want to. And it's, you know, I'm like, the end of the day is like, you're making the decision. I go back to the car example. You buy the car, you drive it off the lot. If something goes wrong, is it my fault? You know, not really.
I have
Mario,
a question. This
Mario.
person who posted this or mentioned this, is she an internal recruiter or working as a
External.
external?
External.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so this is a really important issue, and I want to get back to Sasha's question related to it about how can you discern in advance that there, you know, it might be something wrong. Michael G. Cox gave us an interesting clue. First, I want to check with Kiev. Do you have anything to say? I know you're a quiet guy. I have to check in on you and Ivan to see if you.
The case that Michael G. Cox actually gave, it makes sense, absolutely. Like to see like what is how long does the candidate work within the organization? Like that's super relevant to the case. I think I'd be using that. It seems obvious, but I didn't actually take it that deep.
And would you go back to the hiring manager? You say, look, you know, we had this conversation. You may said it's a great place, but I've looked at in fact, even before before you even call him, maybe you've checked that out and you throw it in his face. Do you do that? Hey, if this company's so great, how come everybody's only staying 8 months?
Throw it in his face.
Well, that's what
Nobody's
you're
gonna
doing.
throw it in his
That's what you're
face.
doing. I don't care how much you soften the
No.
blow, but you're saying, look,
I'm
you
not
got
gonna
a
hide
problem,
these things
mister.
from a candidate. And
Mister.
you know, Mr. Recruiting Animal, listen, I'm not going to hide these things from the candidate, and I want to make sure I'm able to address this and also get a better understanding for what's going on within your organization, because I'm kind of representing your organization to a certain extent in the market. So help me to understand why it is that headcount has gone up by 36%, but your tenure is under 1 year. You're adding a bunch of people, but they're all leaving within a
What's
year.
wrong with your lousy company? That's the question you're asking. Am I right, Michael G. Cox?
I wouldn't use those words, but yes, that's
Okay.
what animals should say.
Yeah.
The animal should say that.
Yeah.
That's what Sasha would say.
Sasha's a tough cookie. Sasha's a tough cookie, okay?
That's right. She's clearly an evil individual.
I
who
told you
would
she
say
looks
such a
like
thing.
Gal Gadot, and she did wear her hair nice and long like today, but no crown, okay? Ivan, another quiet
Next time I'm
introvert.
gonna put a crown. Thank
Okay.
you, recruiting
Animal.
animal.
What's your take on this,
You're at.
Ivan?
You.
Okay, the two
I'm just
quiet
trying
guys
to
are in the corner.
explain to like a candidate, this is like a non-compete, and like I have to explain, I'm writing an SMS to this candidate like about this non-compete clause, man. I'm closing a deal here on my phone. Leave me
Yeah, well, I
alone.
won't. Okay, I won't bug you if you don't have anything to say. You don't have to. I just wanted to give you a chance because you're polite, like Andy. Okay. So hold on a second. Okay, so Michael G. Cox says, look at the tenure. How many people are there, and make sure you ask about that. Take that into when you're asking the company. Take that into consideration. Okay, that's our big fact so far for today. But you know, there was another woman who said that she
You
placed.
just didn't like the way I used words to convey
I
that
liked it.
information.
No, I
Gotcha.
liked it.
We're
I liked
close.
it. I
We're
liked it,
close.
Michael G. Cox. I'm like Andy. I didn't think of it, and I thought it's a smart thing to do. But yeah, it seems like there's division based on personality. Like you've got guys like Super Rich and Tom who say, "Hey, it's not my job, man. Okay, once you hire, I'm out of here. I'm not responsible." And there's people like me who think that retention is the responsibility of the recruiter. There's something wrong.
So how?
I feel that way as an internal.
Why is retention?
How are you going to affect?
Yeah. I mean, how is retention your responsibility? What are you?
If you
possibly
place the
doing?
right people, if you gave them the right people and they made the selection from
Bullshit.
your people,
Bullshit.
And you
What
place
control
them
do you
under an
have?
asshole manager.
Yeah. Well, all right. So I
Is that
placed
my
the
fault?
I placed the perfect guy. All right. I didn't pick him, but I introduced the perfect guy because we don't place. None of us hire anyone. We introduce the right people. They choose from your slate of candidates, or even the one person you gave them. So
I introduced you to a girl, you marry her, and she's terrible.
You're right.
It's not
I
my
didn't make you
fault.
get
I didn't
married.
tell you to marry
Hey,
her.
that's a
right?
wrong
You-
example.
animal, you
need
got
to
to
take
grow a
accountability.
set, and then you
Then
say,
you'd
no,
ask
I'm
for
not going to go
replacement.
out with you. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you have to
Hey,
do.
when did they start issuing crystal balls when you graduate recruiter school? That's what I want.
Apparently, Mike's got crystal balls because you know what? He's very fragile.
Very fragile crystal balls.
You need to be more like the president of
Bad.
Ukraine. Big giant ones, you know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
I'll agree with that one.
Yeah.
It's actually, let's ask Andy. Is he well liked at the present time? Like he's getting fantastic publicity over here. Zelensky.
Yeah, like everyone completely admires him, respects him, and finance. Like there's this saying that finally, within these 30 years of independence, we have a president with balls. Like basically,
Yeah.
this.
He might not live. That's the question.
That'd be horrible.
That's the
Suicide gang.
Yeah.
Okay,
But thank
so
God Biden offered him a way out instead of, hey, we're going to send people. We'll give you a
Dude.
helicopter right out.
What did he say? I don't need a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need
Exactly.
guns.
Good for him.
I need
How about
guns.
Vitaly Klitschko? Man,
Yeah.
he's out there.
Okay, hold on. Let me get back to this. I want to get back to Sasha's question because it's really important. So you guys are saying, you know, it's I place the people, you know, you choose them. That's your problem. But she asked the question: is there any way to determine, you know, if this is going to work? You guys are saying there's no way for you to know.
No.
You don't have a crystal ball. There's no way for you to know if this is going to be good, right?
Yeah, you know because you know your industry. You know what companies are good or bad. You do your best assessment. You know.
I
You
don't
know.
know.
Maybe
I've
3 or 4 placements
presented
in, you can know.
Tom, I'm not giving you enough time, but you'll come back again. But I've presented people and I say, this person is fantastic. You're going to love her. It's a great match because I really believe it. Okay. Am I just shooting in the dark? That's what you guys are saying. I don't have any way of knowing if it's true.
That's not at all. No, it's not. That's not true because you know your space. You screen the person just like you screen the company. You do a discovery call. You find out what are these people like. What's the culture like? How do they hire? You know, what's the turnover rate? Why is the role open? I mean, normal, simple questions if you're doing your job.
And then, Rich talking out of both sides of his mouth. He's saying, yes, yes, I can tell if it's a good fit. But if it doesn't work out, how would I know? It's not my responsibility.
You're right,
Isn't that what's
totally different things? That is totally
If a few
different.
placements in, then you can make an educated guess about what's going to work or not. Your first 1 or 2, you're kind of guessing, but time and distance, and that's like we were talking. That's one of the advantages of maybe being a specialist. You're deep in your industry, deep with the customer, then you can be a little more accurate.
So, Animal, according to you, if I send a candidate, they should just hire whoever I say to hire, right?
Sometimes I think they should. Yeah,
But they don't. They don't do it though. And no matter what you say, they're not really taking your opinion. Most clients don't. Maybe they listen, maybe they don't. End of the day is they're hiring who they want to hire, not who you want to hire 99% of the time.
I can't believe there's lots of hot hiring managers who don't hate you, Rich, when they
They do.
hear you talk.
Right, they like the honest truth. All the bullshit pussies floating around that you guys are doing doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah, I tell them this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I'm very honest with them. There's no guessing.
Do you use a car example?
I do. The guy, I did it yesterday. The guy's like, we're not buying cars. And I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe we're not the right work fit for you then. Because I'm like, you get it or you don't. I mean, it's the same.
Yeah, Rich can say, look, I made
your analogies.
Rich can say, look, I made 60 hires last year. You're not interested? I don't need you. Okay. He's got that luxury. Anybody else want to comment on this?
No, move on to the next one.
No, I think this is really good. Sasha, did you learn anything so far about your question?
Yes, I did.
You have a follow-up?
We lost you. We can't hear you.
I muted myself. It's a default thing that I do when I'm not talking.
How to mute yourself.
Yes, thank you. I have an option here, but I did. And however, Rich mentioned something interesting, and I believe I would make the analogy of dating when you are closing a contract with the company, right? How do you know that the company that you're going to send the recruiters is the right company, right? So, and Rich mentioned that he's doing a screen call to find out a bit more about the company. But isn't that a bit challenging when you're doing like the first call or first introductory call, or you're trying your luck as
you got to ask you have to have a list of questions that you're going to go through that you're going to understand what these guys are all about. And then, if you're a specialist, like I don't understand how anyone's a generalist, because it's a whole nother conversation about a waste of time, but you just can't, you're not that deep. If you're in a niche, or a niche, as Mike likes to say, Animal likes to say, you can really understand who and what your clients are about. You can say this is what makes this is what people are saying about it in the industry. Because you don't, as a recruiter, you don't want to work on a company that's got a lousy reputation just for a quick buck, because these candidates lose respect for you. And next time you call, they're not going to take.
He said the buck, like the deer.
Yes. Thank you, Michael.
But this other girl, Tom commented, in Antonella right below him, she said, I sent someone in. Here's what she said. She said, make sure the selling points of the client company are real. I placed a C-level candidate, and after 3 months, he told me that nothing that they told him on the job was true. Okay. Yeah. He said, here was the interesting thing. The hiring manager wanted him to bring in change, but there was old management more senior than that hiring manager who didn't really want change. And he didn't find that out. Is that the recruiter's fault that
No,
that wasn't
That's the
exposed?
company's fault. I actually have a line in my contract that basically states if the discovery information in the discovery call isn't the same as the material difference in the reality, once the candidate's placed, we're not responsible.
So there's no way for the recruiter to discern if there's a
How could there be?
conflict
The
within
guy's
the
gonna lie to
company.
you. He's going to lie to you.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know?
but look, what is like if you have like this, but with the candidate, right? Like they like take your client's offer, but then they get an offer from like a big tech company for like a lot more money, and they leave after like 29 days, and then the client has to pay your full fee. What do you do?
That's a business decision. You got to decide, hey, is it a company I want to stay doing business with or not? You know,
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
say it's a clear
the
cut,
contracts, the contracts are,
candidate behaves super bad.
hang on. The contracts are a gray area because you got to decide, do you want to do business with this company? Just because it says you're not doing this happened, you can do the right thing and help them out, or you go say, this is the letter of the law. And, you know, you'll say, fine, we'll pay you, but we'll never work with you again. You got to decide if you like the client or not, how much you want to put up with. And that's,
So
I
how
mean,
would you solve the situation? Like, how would you like replace fully or partly, or how would you do that?
again, it depends. Like I did a deal, signed an agreement yesterday. I told him, listen, you know, he was all concerned if that happened because they've had it happen. You know, I said, listen, I mean, if the guy leaves day 35 and it's a 30-day agreement, we'll figure it out. We'll either replace it. If we've got someone on our desk, we got to do a deeper dive search. Maybe we'll give you a pretty significant discount or whatever, but we got to see as time arises and what happens. If someone leaves because this was a total, you know, crap show, then, you know, good luck to them. But if they leave for reality, like real reasons, like you said, maybe like I had a candidate, he left, you know, after like a week or two because he got literally a guaranteed $2 million offer. I mean, even the client's like, hell, you got to take it, you know? So, I mean, we ended up making into a retainer. I said, listen, pay me 10 grand up front. They hadn't paid me yet. So I'm like, just pay me 10 grand and we'll use it as a retainer and we'll redo the search. We ended up not finding the right person because it was a ridiculously hard search, but the guy was so appreciative. He ended up connecting us to his VC. The VC we ended up doing about 3 or 4 deals with his VC firm. They even ended up paying us for that full deal once they did fill that role, because technically, according to the contract, we wrote the money. I didn't even ask him for it, you know? So sometimes you just got to do what's right.
I'm letting Rich talk. I'm letting Rich talk because that's going to give a higher rating to Ernie, go ahead. Shoot.
That'll get you more of those
like Rick
unpaid
pointed out.
sponsors.
There you go.
It's all about relationships and your
Yeah.
relationship to your client, and to also understand that you can get more clients. If that client doesn't work out, find another one. They
Yep.
come and they go. They're kind of
Listen,
like your best friends in high school. They're not your best friends in life, and that's clients. They change.
I
all
still
the
have
time.
my high school friends.
I do too.
So
but-
sorry.
Well, I mean, you
I'm
gotta-
Not
you
all
gotta-
of them. Not
but I
all
mean,
of them.
you don't hang out with the whole gang.
I do.
Before I thought we lost
That's
on it. I
because
want
your
to ask. You're
personality is
right.
that
You're
way. You
right.
don't
But
have
listen,
to be
before
friends.
Donna leaves again, I want to ask her if she's got something to say. She's been so quiet. Okay,
She got
we'll come back
bangs.
to Ernie in a second. Donna, do you have
Bangs
something?
are back.
With the bangs are back. Yeah,
Things are back. Yes, I did it for the animal.
I love it. It's sexy. Okay, am I allowed to say
boy.
that? It turns me on. I've been watching.
Oh boy, edit that out.
There's a
Here we
good
go.
show. No, on Netflix. On Netflix, I'm watching Bombshell. That's pretty good. Anybody
Oh, that's a good
seen
one.
it?
Yeah, I like Bombshell.
Do you have something you want to say? Sexy bangs.
So yeah,
ahead.
that's my new. That's gonna be my new Facebook name now. Forget Donna Bobana. No, I don't know. All of what you're saying is, I get it. As far as knowing if the role is real, I'm worried about that with one we're filling right now, because it's a client who says they want to bring in a young person, you know, someone new to bring in change and shake things up. And I'm like, I don't want to fill that, because I don't buy it. I don't buy that they're going to have this young person come in where there's a bunch of old people. I mean, no offense, I'm one of the old people now, but you know, that are in place, and that it's really going to work and be effective. You know, I mean, I don't believe it. So I'm not I'm not really actively
The
trying.
exact same issue we were just talking about then, right?
Right,
I
that's
just
the
have to
thing.
note something with all this ageism and sexism. We
Right.
also spent half a show talking about super rich's pecs, okay? So it's not just like I'm picking on the women here, right? Okay. That's
Say
right.
what?
We did, okay. Ivan said he's got to lift more, do bench presses, so he's not intimidated by Rich.
That's my only dream. That's like even like with Rich Rosen, go to the gym, like the dumbbells, put the dumbbells in. It's like it's gonna be
Better
so
be
amazing.
careful,
I'm
dude.
dreaming of it every
Back to
time. and I
Ernie.
do it.
Ernie, finish up. Yeah, I interrupted Ernie to give
No,
Don
no,
a
no,
chance.
no. I mean, you guys, it's all going good. I'm just, as I listen to all of this, I still say that you got to know your client well enough that they can talk to you and they can tell you what the atmosphere is. And I'm telling you, some of those things are like, it's even like Donna said, like they want a young person. Well, tell me what you want. It's order it. Tell me if you want an old person or a young person. It's all illegal in hell, but I don't want to waste my time. And I use that experience because a lot of times I recruit in the South and they do not want a person of color. And they
You're
tell you
kidding.
that's the atmosphere.
You're kidding.
No. All you got to do is when you look at one of those places in the South, I usually run something like I'll put the name of the town and then I'll put KKK.
Watch what you say, Ernie. I don't want you to say
I'm not
something
saying
bad,
that.
okay?
No, I'm saying that. What I'm saying is you get an atmosphere of where it's at. You can't travel America and be a person of color and pretend like everything is great. I watch out. I tell my kids, watch where you're going and be careful because you're the only little Mexican kid in that car. But what I'm saying is it exists in the United States. The reality is whether it's color or whether it's what they want, they got to talk to you.
But let me raise something, another issue though, that Donna just referred to and I refer to as well. If they say, oh yeah, we want someone to bring in change, you can almost always guarantee that that's not true, isn't it? Am I right about that? You can challenge them on that, say, who wants change? Is there some people who don't want change in there? Tom, do you want to address that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, that's a disguise where they want to hire somebody that they can use as a scapegoat when nobody cooperates. They'll say, oh, you're the new thing, you're out. That's what they'll do.
Yeah.
And really, when it comes to change, isn't that the president's job?
Right. Why do they need to bring in like a young person to do what all the leadership hasn't been able to do? Like, that's where I'm like, I don't want to work that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on the size.
But the thing is,
if you're working a startup, it's different than if you're working at a big established company.
But the point of it is you're listening to what they're saying and you make your own decisions going forward.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tom,
unless you're like
go
Donna, not to pick on you, if you're at an agency and they give you an account to work or they give you an order to fill and you've got your little codes in the agency world that read something like young, vibrant, all those codes that are being used to employ ageism. How do you get around that,
Well, I sent my boss a couple of candidates who were a little bit too old and who could actually do the job. And he presented both of them and they have refused to see either one of them. So but I'm not going to send someone there to be slaughtered. And, if I start to believe it, then maybe, but,
we got to watch what we say on the show. If we're too frank about certain things, I don't know. I got a feeling we can get in trouble. I mean, so I'm sorry to say it, but it's true.
Somebody's going to see this.
Well, that's the guarantee. Let's see if I want to do an ad.
People that are going to watch this in the next year.
I had a lot of trouble getting if I get to cut this out, people won't know. I had a lot of trouble getting onto the show today, but I was going to start off with an ad, but and this is the ad. Michael G. Cox just gave me the segue. Hey, everybody, we like guests on the show. Okay. And if you want, there she walks, so the guest walks out when I say we like guests. Okay. But anyway, here's the thing. You can say a lot of stupid things here and no one's ever going to hear. No one's ever going to hear it. Michael G. Cox just delivered the message. We could say almost
it's a
anything.
safe place
okay?
to share.
That's why
That's
there's
right.
always two sides to every coin. You could have a show with Rich that everybody watches, okay? Or you could have a show like this, which nobody watches, but you're more free, okay? You don't have to worry so much that, you're going to get nailed for, talking about ageism or something like that. Does anybody want to say anything? Let me introduce
Yeah,
the band,
I
okay?
got something to say. Animal. You need to
Go ahead.
rename it the Recruiting Animal Therapy Show. That's the correct thing.
That's actually correct. Yeah.
That's a good thing. MarioTheRecruiter.com. Raise your hand. Ernie, raise your hand. Ernie thinks that he's wearing a black t-shirt. I gotta tell you. So when he starts talking about color, maybe he's on the wrong page. FoodIndustryRecruiter.com. Tom Chuna, the guest, the nominal guest. He's an old friend. Do you have a website you want to promote, Tom, or anything like that?
No, just my LinkedIn page. You can find me there. I'm the only one. with my
Tom,
last name.
Tom Chuna, Chuna. Tom Chuna, the tuna. Okay,
Yep.
Sasha.
Fish, baby.
Sasha, raise your hand. She's our new friend. Gal Gadot,
Hello.
okay? The salesrecruiter.com. Michael G. Cox, you're wearing a purple shirt or it just looks blue. Ivan Klang.so. He's the IT recruiter who built his own ATS. Check it out. Rich Rosen, super rich. CornerstoneSearch.com. Andy, tell us what you do again, okay?
Okay. I'll tell you what I have been investing all my time and efforts in. This is a job platform for migrant workforce. We have started last year in Aten, and now we're working throughout the European region and also the Eastern European region to the extent that we can in terms of the hiring process now.
I'm so freaked out that he's here. This guy is calling in from Kiev, okay?
How is he so calm? That's what I
Yeah,
want.
that's it. What's your domain name?
Jobian.com.
Spell it.
Jobian.
What?
Jobian.
Stop interrupting him. God damn it.
Jobin.com.
That's you, Jobin? Is that what you're always talking about, Rich? That's his site?
You're not Jobin. J-O-B. It's different.
Animal, that's a different tool. This is a website.
Jobian.com.
Joe Biden. Is that
Joe
it?
Biden.
Jobian. It's the
Joe
correct one.
Biden.
Jobian.
Joe Biden. No, yeah.
And Donna.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Donna. It's not Donna Terrell like I think it is. It's Donna Terrell. Am I right?
You're right. Correct.
Okay, I learned
You're
something.
welcome, Animal.
Who's got a topic? Who wants to talk?
I just want to point out one thing. Could everyone just tell us where your location is? Because this is a pretty unique group. I mean, we're from all over the world.
Start with Tom. He's in the corner.
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
Toronto. Ernie.
Chicago.
Mario doesn't want to say.
DC.
Sasha.
Novi Sad, Serbia, Europe.
Wow. It's Europe.
Michael P. Cox, you're next.
Texas, baby. And usually Mexico also.
Yeah, he's going across. He's going. Everybody's coming to the States. He's going the other way. Ivan's in Zurich, right?
You gotta have
Switzerland?
options.
There you go.
Super rich.
Boston.
We know that Andy is in Kiev and Donna's in somewhere in Florida, right?
Yeah, near Tampa, outside Tampa.
Okay, you happy now, Ernie?
No, I'm happy. I think it's something that should be recognized. It's
Right.
cool.
Okay. And anybody want to say something? Anybody got Anybody? Mario, got something you want to say? Andy?
I'm so glad many people don't watch this show.
Okay, me too. Now I am too. I got something to feel good about, and I still got these presents from Higher Tool. Okay. Nobody. I got tons of stuff because Tom. Well, for instance, here's another one Tom took up this week. Okay, the candidate ghosts the interview, right? She ghosts
happens so
the
often,
recruiter.
unbelievable.
The recruiter
Terrible.
sets up an interview. The candidate agrees to it, doesn't show up, and then the candidate didn't show up with the company, I think, screwed it up. Then later on, the candidate calls another recruiter at the same company, and she wanted the original poster wanted to know, what should I say to that candidate? Tom, do you remember what you said?
Oh, yeah, just mark it in the ATS and pretend they died.
Yeah, she's dead to me. She's dead to me. Is that your rule? If the candidate does something you don't like, they're dead?
Yeah, you've got one chance to prove yourself. Beyond that, I've been the nice guy. I've lived to regret it. No more. I'm like Don Corleone. I got a business to run. I don't care.
Yep.
I'm not here to be your friend or your buddy. You
Don't
screw
mess
once,
with me.
out.
Don't tread on me, right?
Speaking of gangsters, we got Michael G. Cox who has killed a person by buying a website from them.
I mean,
didn't hear
Thomas,
about
I sent
that.
you a note in the chat.
Okay, okay, yeah. Anybody else got how they? Okay, Ivan, are you tough
to
on
avoid,
people?
I mean, so this no-show thing, since like, I don't know if it has to do with the pandemic or not, as people go a bit crazy. Like people like really the amount, yeah, the number of no-shows for me at least increased, and I hear the same from other recruiters. What we
Crazy.
started doing is that we like tell the candidate like, okay, hey, tomorrow you have the interview. Is everything good? On the morning of the interview, hey, today at 1 p.m. you have the interview. It's all good. And then sometimes even before, hey, in 15 minutes you have the
Yes.
interview. It's all good. And then after the interview, we ask, hey, how was the interview? Like, did everything go okay? Like, and if you like, I mean, in the morning and 15 minutes before, if they don't answer, like I start to panic. Like they will not come like then to the client, right? And we cannot have like a no-show if there are like 3 managers and like the person doesn't appear. This is like catastrophe. So this is how we handle it now at the moment, is be like really engage and try to catch it before, because your client is paying you a lot of money such that they do not come in the situation that your damn candidate doesn't appear, right?
You're very
So-
passionate
and
about
then
this.
you have to
Go
answer
ahead.
for that as well, as if you can control the behavior of another human being. I
No,
had
you
one of
can.
these this
If
morning.
you engage, you can. If you before engage with them, you can kind of control it and
No.
like catch it.
No, you can't. It's a false.
can't.
It's a false sense of security.
And it's okay to have that, but it's going to hurt when you realize that you can't control another human's behavior. I had one this morning for a sales leadership role, and the guy just went dark. He hasn't responded to text messages, so he's out. And then I have to have the conversation with the client, and you have to do it in a very diplomatic way, in a very back channel kind of way, because you might be able to save this if that guy pops up again. So I'm taking it, on the chin, basically saying, we kind of set this up kind of late. I apologize. It might have been my fault. And I'm doing that to save the way the
Potential.
candidate is being perceived, because
Tom
maybe I
says
can
you're
present
wrong.
them again.
Tom, what teach Michael G. Cox what you would do?
Oh, I would just like, you're out, Chuckles. You don't embarrass me like that. See ya. Have a nice life.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, well, Michael
I'm
G.
okay
Cox,
with being
when your
embarrassed
client,
one
when
time
your
and
client
maybe
come
making
back
a
to you,
$50,000 fee. Embarrass
but
me
your
all you want.
why should your client trust you? If the candidate stiffed them like that, why would they ever consider him or her again?
Yeah, why
Because
would we beg it?
because I might be able to save that. And I say, hey, Brent, that was kind of my fault, man. I got back to this guy really late and I haven't heard from them this morning. I'm going to try and do this. Do you
But
have
what
some
is-
other times that are available this
Okay.
next week?
Despite what you're saying, what is your gut feeling?
My gut feeling is that I think I can still save it. If my gut feeling was, I can't save this, I probably would have reacted very differently.
You're looking at it from a different point of view. Tom's saying this guy's a jerk. Why would you want to deal with this person again? You're saying
Because it's
maybe
not
I-
about him. It's about me making a fee.
Exactly.
No,
it's
you know
about
what
the
this is?
dollars.
This guy's teaching all of us to kiss his ass and jump through his hoops, which I'm not doing. I'll go get a different candidate.
Hey,
Throw
Tom, would
buses.
it be any,
That's what
would
I
it
know
be
what's
any
coming
different
on.
for you if it was, you're an internal you're an internal corporate recruiter? Would it be any different if you were outside?
That's where my bad attitude came from, was being third party independent. I didn't screw around.
Would it not be easier if you were just a corporate recruiter and just saying, no, screw you, no, I don't like it. But when you're doing it actually as an agency recruiter, what have you, or you have somebody else that's on top of you and you need to make a placement to pay your bills, then it's a whole different game.
Ernie,
It
I'll
really wasn't.
ask you the same thing. Why should, or Tom, why should the client trust the candidate? I mean, you're passing a loser on to them, and it's obvious already. They didn't
Well, yeah,
show.
yeah. I've told candidates, you know what, you're out, because I am not going to let you hurt my client. I work for the client, not you.
At
You
the
have to
point
sit down.
at the point where I get to that, and Tom, I probably will, at the point that I get to feeling like this is not salvageable, screw this guy, I'm not going to tell him anything.
But
I'm
let
not
me
going to
ask
waste
you,
my time on the
do you-
guy.
do you have other candidates for that job?
At the moment, no.
That's a
I've
reason.
got
Well,
other
what
jobs
does the
that I want
newbie
to
say?
work on.
Sasha, what do you want to comment? You want in?
Well, I agree. I wouldn't reach out to that candidate back again. Definitely not. It's a
Screw
I
you,
mean,
candidate.
I'm
The-
Yeah.
The
Well,
candidate's
the
not
thing is
talking to
that
him.
At the end of the day, why work with people you can't trust? You
exactly.
know? I mean, it's that simple. You got to save
Exactly.
your reputation.
Boy, we're
I'm
split
still
on
on the-
this.
You're just
Fool me
slapping the hell out of
I think,
Michael there.
Rich, I think this was one of your rules, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was
I
Jerry.
remember this,
Jerry
yeah.
had this rule too.
Jerry
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
rule.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Jerry rule. That's
Yeah.
the Jerry, the seven eponymous
Yeah.
rules. We didn't get to them. I had them
Yeah.
scheduled.
Rich,
Andy,
Rich, could you put that in terms of a car example?
If the car doesn't start the first time, dump the
Exactly.
car.
yeah, I'm not buying. Andy, what's your take on this?
11 after- if it's as it starts, it's as it goes, baby. If it's 11
Let's hear
after
from
midnight,
Kiev.
11 after
Let's hear
midnight.
from Kiev. What would you say?
Depends. I had 10 truck drivers from the Eastern EU that I hired to Ireland. And 4 of them, after they bought the tickets, but I had the evidence that they bought the tickets to the employer, 4 of them broke their leg or broke something on their body after New Year. So
4 of them.
Sorry?
Were they
Out of
like
10.
wrestling each
Four-
other or
four-
something?
four out
Or
of
what were they
10.
doing?
Yeah, so I had to quickly figure out how to rearrange everything in order to fill in those.
Dang, I wish I'd been at that party where
Dude,
4
no
guys
kidding.
broke legs.
But I mean,
The
but how-
question is,
so
you
wait,
know,
wait,
they're lying. It's not their grandmother died, okay?
that's
And they
it.
had to
How
go to
many-
the funeral. That's his issue. Would you
But it-
trust those guys again, or would you rule them out of your
One out
life?
of 4. 1 out of 4 was later hired in the mid of February.
I mean,
Oh, really? Okay.
well,
He's with
think
Michael
about it. I
Jackson.
mean,
So it's a numbers game, I guess.
Listen, again, there's nothing that's 100% black and white in this business. But at the end of the day, how many people we've all talked to? I mean, I don't know about you guys. I keep ridiculously good notes, and I've had people tell me their mothers died, their grandmothers died multiple times. You
I
know,
used to have that.
yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, everyone's a
The
liar.
same person.
Yeah,
Amazing.
exactly. You know, it's like their mother's mother, grandmother, their stepmother's, mother died, or
Really,
whatever, the
people
dog
use
died.
that one, eh?
So you all
I
say,
had a guy last week. His dog had to get chemo. I'm like,
Kill the dog, dude.
yeah,
That
that's what I
happens.
said.
No,
That's what
I
I said
have
to the guy.
friends
I'm like,
with
I got 2
dogs with
dogs. So what a
serious
waste of money.
illnesses. It happens.
Hey,
But like
pull-
they tell that on the
let's
phone.
do
or they
an old
text this
yeller
to
right
you,
behind
or-
the ear. Come
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Oh, that's mean, Michael.
but correct. It's all right. It's mean but correct. Truth, brutal
He's
truth. my
wasting
friend.
money on chemo. for
Tom, do you have a
God's sake.
final issue? Because we're near the end of the show.
I just wanted to add it to Ernie's question. No, I got my attitude about this when I was independent running my own show. And I even carry that into my personal life. If a girl wants to postpone a date with me or something, I never call her again. She's out.
Because I'm
I do
a
not play around.
hustler, baby.
Why?
I don't care. My time is valuable. My client's time is valuable.
Okay.
Someone has to stand up for the client, because one of the problems in our industry is we're so wound up about the candidate experience and kissing their ass and making them feel loved, wanted, and secure. We need to go back to the days of applicant paid fees. That way there's no more bullshit.
Whoa.
They comply and we just move on with our day. That's what needs to happen.
Applicant paid fees is where we should have started this show. That would have been a good show.
There you go.
We
Next
got to
time,
the-
next time.
We
This was a
got to
pretty
the
good
good
show.
topic.
that's rule number
with
3.
1 minute to
for,
go.
Rich Rosen. Rule number 3.
Yeah.
My mic isn't working. My mouse isn't really working. I'm just happy to be here, and I thought it was a pretty good show. And
Well,
we
make a
got to,
placement, man. Buy
like
some
I
Ernie
always
said,
have
we
fun.
got
That's why I like coming back.
these people from all over the world. So thank you everybody for coming, and
That's
thank you
cool.
for watching. I watched now. I've got these all on YouTube, and it's true. There are no what. I'm watching them.